Just like anyone who was with them maybe in the afternoon, who knows anything about what's happened to them, or if they see anything, to just come forward. We need all the help we can get.
Donna Jaggers was the girlfriend of Craig Rolfe, who was found murdered alongside Patrick Tate and Anthony Tucker in a Range Rover in Essex on the 6th of December 1995. But just how much did Donna Jaggers know about the 6th of December? By the time she gave evidence at the trial of Michael Steele and Jack Williams on the 29th of October 1997, more information was available. Jaggers stated that she left work at 3 p.m. It took her 10 minutes to get home, and that Rolfe arrived home about an hour later, 10 past 4 or thereabouts. She was then asked in evidence in chief, "And you and he remained together throughout the time before you went to Lakeside?" Donna replied, "Yes." This meant that Rolfe, according to Jaggers, was with her continuously at the 8 Cowshire Avenue address in Chafford 100 between 10 past 4 and 20 to 6. Message 93 has already been raised in the further representations on behalf of Mr. Steele because it contains an inconsistency with Jaggers seeing Rolfe after the morning of the 6th of December. The Jaggers testimony and the content of her statement of the 14th of March are now challenged further. DC Pullinger of the Essex Police, in a statement as early as the 8th of December 1995, saw the Range Rover F44 NPE being driven on Brook Road in Grays. The Range Rover parked on Brook Road, adjacent to the front entrance of the police station. Pullinger noticed the sole occupant of the Range Rover get out of the vehicle. It was then that he noticed it was Craig Rolfe. He'd had a conversation with him about a further appointment to obtain a witness statement from Jaggers. He was in no doubt that the male he saw in Grays and spoke to at around about 4:30 on the 6th of December 1995 was Craig Rolfe. Either Jaggers is mistaken or lied about Rolfe being with her throughout the time following his arrival home at 10 past 4 on the 6th of December, or an Essex police officer who knew Rolfe before this sighting is mistaken or is lying about this sighting. The prosecution case to the jury was that the Range Rover containing the 3 deceased was discovered by Ken Jiggins and Peter Fairbold at around 8 a.m. on Thursday the 7th of December 95. The 999 call was logged at 6 minutes past 8. On the 27th of November 1995, the head of the drug squad, D.I.D. Bailey, authorised the surveillance operation, codenamed Operation Cluster. Its purpose was to observe the 3 deceased in relation to drug dealing. The final log of the operation was dated the 7th of December and involved surveillance on the home of one of the deceased. The prosecution, prior to trial, that the deceased was not under surveillance leading up to and including the time of their deaths.
I'd just like anyone who was with them maybe in the afternoon, who knows anything about what's happened to them.
The above appeal gives the impression that Donna is unaware of who Mr. Rolfe, Tate and Tucker had met during the afternoon of the 6th of December.
Anyone who was with them maybe in the afternoon.
By implication, later on that day, it became clear as time went on that one or other of them had met Peter Cuthbert, Barry Dorman, Mark Harding and Michael Stenning, amongst others, on the 6th of December 95. That day, because they all gave statements to the police subsequently. Message 93, dated the 7th of December 1995 and timed at 3 p.m, records information given to DC Norton and DC World that she had not seen Rolf since yesterday morning. If this was accurate, it would explain why she was asking for information as to whom they had met on the afternoon on the 6th of December. Had Rolf returned home that afternoon and seen her there, one would have expected her to have found out about his day and who he had met. Had Jaggers been mistaken as to when she had last seen Rolf? This is something that could and should have been clarified. It was not, presumably because the police did not want to draw attention to this inconsistency to the defence. If, as DC Florence stated on the 8th of December 1995, that Jaggers was aware that the deceased were to meet Mick, the pilot, on the 6th of December 1995, it is inconceivable that the police would have encouraged her to make a television media appeal. It is important to remember that during the trial, the judge made an order prohibiting the publication of an image of her, and did the same in respect of Darren Nichols. In addition, Jaggers gave evidence under the assumed name of Diana Evans. At the media appeal, news cameramen filmed her and photographers took her photograph. A photograph appeared in various newspapers, and the film footage was broadcast widely. Her identity, therefore, was no secret. This is hardly what the police would have wanted if she had vital information regarding those 3 victims were due to meet on the 6th of December. In addition to the 6 statements in respect of the Rettendon murders and the statement provided into the death of Kevin Whitaker in 1994, it is now clear that Donna Jaggers made at least one further statement to the Essex Police. On the 23rd of July 1996, DC Bridge visited Donna Jaggers and made a pocketbook entry covering that visit. He was accompanied by DC Winston. Bridge describes obtaining a signed statement from her regarding Mr. Nichols' committal. Nichols was committed for trial at Basildon Magistrates Court only 3 days later, on the 26th of July 1996. Nowhere in her statement evidence does Jaggers refer to Nichols, nor does she mention him at trial. As it is clear from Bridge's notes, Jaggers provided the police with evidence against Darren Nichols, yet failed to provide it to the defence in the case. The evidence prevented the defence proving a closer link between Nichols and the deceased. Prior to her arrest, and during the initial period of his detention, Darren Nichols was a suspect for the murders, but there was little to connect Nichols to the 3 victims in the material disclosed by the prosecution. Furthermore, this disclosure failure prevented the defence showing Jaggers knew about Rolf's criminal activities than she disclosed to the jury. In short, the contents of this statement, which was withheld by the prosecution, would have enabled the defence to further damage the credibility of Miss Jaggers. By the time she gave evidence, on the 24th of October 1997, she confirmed to the jury that both she and Rolf had mobile telephones. In fact, she added that Rolf had his phone on him that evening at the 6th of December 1995.